On today's episode of the CLS Experience, we have a very brilliant treat. He's a mindset mentor, explosive entrepreneur, multiple-time New York Times best-selling author, behavioral neuroscience researcher, and star of the global phenomenon The Secret, and many call him the brain whisperer. No big deal. He is the CEO of My Neuro Gym, a neuroscience-based company dedicated to helping individuals strengthen their mindset so they achieve their goals and dreams faster and easier than ever before. His new app, Innercise, has already changed countless lives, and his ability to make complex tools sound digestible is second to none. He's here to teach you the tips, tricks, and tools needed to master your mindset and cultivate that razor's edge. He's just a juggernaut in all facets of life and a terrific father and husband. Please welcome the divine, abundant, and wise, the soulful and handsome, Juicy John Assaraf. How you doing, John?
I love that intro. Thank you. I want to get a copy of that intro.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
As I like to say, it's your story. You wrote it. I just said it.
You're very kind.
Yeah. And this is not the first time you and I collaborated. In fact, we collaborated earlier today when you came out to support me for my book launch and so forth. And I know you could be anywhere, and I really appreciate it. You've also been on the show before. We haven't had too many people on for a second time. I can't talk to you for enough. For our audience, we're about 5 million now. Obviously, you guys are familiar, but I would suggest play catch up, check out all the current amazing things, even the past, that John has going on. He just launched a new app, which you're very excited about. Obviously, all his brilliant work from the past. But what I think is most valuable today is we just have an unbelievable conversation. But before we dive in, we're going to get a little weird. You ready for me?
Let's do it.
Johnny, when you wake up every day, for you personally, what is a non-negotiable for you?
Smile. Smile. First day I woke up. Every day I wake up, I smile. And that is a non-negotiable. And part of it is because I know that as soon as I smile, the neurochemicals that I release are positive, empowering, happy neurochemicals too. I think about all the things I'm grateful for in my life. 30 seconds. I look to the right. My wife is there. Think about my kids, my family, my health. The things that I've got to be grateful for. More happy neurochemicals, more gratitude neurochemicals. I'm alive neurochemicals. So I start off with that, and that's, first 2 minutes. I'm already in a great state of mind. I'm smiling all the time. And then I get up and go to the bathroom. And then I do my meditation and Innercise every single day.
Yeah, I love this. And, everybody knows that in order to get fit or athletic or look better, you have to stay physically fit. But one thing that you understand better than anybody is the importance of staying mentally fit. And you know that first you have to set the tone each and every single day right from the get-go. And a smile actually not only encourages that, but chemically, it kind of makes you a little bit happier in a better state as well. Is that right?
Yeah. There's a model that I've been following for, many, many years, but I really put it into cohesive teaching, a cohesive way of how I want to live my life. And when I was in my 20s, I started to read books on spirituality, chop wood, carry water. I read a lot of books trying to understand. I didn't really like religion when I was a kid, but I knew that there was something magical about the universe. I used to love to look up at the stars and wonder, what created all of this? How does all this work? And when I would see, the sun, which I discovered was like 93 million miles away, and the moon, which was 250,000 miles away, and I realized that the Earth is going around the sun in an elliptical orbit, not around the sun, around its circumference, and that the other planets were, working the same type of magic as Earth was moving, at dizzying speeds, and the Milky Way galaxy was moving at 1 million miles an hour. I got fascinated, like, how is all this happening? How is it that, this body of mine, I was very into biology and chemistry when I was a kid. Like, how does all this perfection work? And so I dove into, I studied some religions, whether it was the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah, the Bible. And I found a lot of good stuff in there, but I also found there was a lot of stuff that wasn't to my taste. But in studying spirituality, the essence of intelligence and the spirit, the intelligence within me and everything, I start to realize that the real power, just like we've discovered, when we release the energy in an atom, we have atomic power. When we release the energy in a hydrogen molecule, we have, 1,000,000 times more power than the atom or the atom. So I start to realize that there is this spiritual importance. But then I knew that emotions really mattered as well. And then mindset is critical. And then there's this physical body. And as I was thinking about, and still do, that at the nuclear level, there's millions of times more energy and power. At the chemical level, right, there's 1,000,000 times more power than at the physical level. And so I started to say, okay, if all of the intelligence is at the spiritual level, how do I become more aware of it and tap into it more and activate it or use it to the best of my ability? If I have emotions and the energy in motion in my body, the 100 trillion cells, the hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon, in my body, vibrate at different frequencies, can I manage the vibratory rate, the frequency of this molecular structure called my body? Yeah. And if mindset is what separates the best from the rest, can I develop, get better at my mindset, tenacity, resolve, attitude, perspective, mental control, focus, awareness. Can I get better at those things that make up mindset? Well, of course I could. And then this physical body, the vehicle, can I keep it in relatively good working order so that the things that I want, to make happen, or the things that are looking to make themselves happen through me as a vessel, have the vehicle. So I developed this model for myself that I've been practicing for many years called the SEMP model, SEMP, right? Operate from a spiritual perspective, manage the emotions, focus the mindset, behave in certain ways that align with the vision, goals, and things I want to achieve. And when I do that, I am in coherence, I am in harmony, I am in concert, no differently than an orchestra that is in harmony. Everything flows, it's like magic. Well, I've figured out constructive, empowering patterns, starting with what I do when I wake up to what I do upon going to bed. That's worked for me. And so I have these patterns that have worked for me, and that's what I believe and what I teach. Yeah. So that's kind of like a bigger answer than where we started.
I would expect nothing less. And the great part is about that is that's tangible. Everybody can essentially wake up tomorrow and remember what this stud, John Assaraf, just said, and practice a smile. Throw it on your face. See how it feels. Try it on, right? There's no harm in that. And then see what it leads to, and then stay consistent with it.
I actually made one little error in my morning routine. After I get up, I get a glass of water, put it in the microwave for 48 seconds, put half a lemon in it, and have it ready for my wife for when she wakes up. That's how she likes to start her day. So I bring that to her. When she wakes up, she texts me. And then I go in there, we look at each other, we hold each other, we hug, we kiss, we say, I love you. And then I go off and continue what I was doing. But that's part of our relationship ritual, to make sure that we start off every day together in a great way. And we have our evening little ritual as well. At lunchtime, in the morning while I'm working, she creates an organic love bowl for me so that by 11:30 I can have something organic and healthy ready for me to eat, which is her way of like, hey, this is for you. You did something beautiful for me this morning. I'm going to do something beautiful for you. And we just keep doing that over and over and over again on the relationship side. And it has worked beautifully. So there's a couple little rituals since we got onto that.
I love how mushy you are about your wife, and I am too with my fiance, and we could talk relationships all day, and we're gonna circle back with that. And of course, I want to touch on all the unbelievable stuff you have going on now with the app, which I believe is revolutionary. And you showed me a little behind the scenes before we hopped on. But I wanted to ask you this straight off the cuff. You mentioned atomic energy. I see a pretty cool picture behind you of Einstein. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
I have seen Oppenheimer. I watched the documentary on Netflix and I saw the movie as well.
Same. What'd you think?
I loved it. I
Cool.
mean, I loved, one of the things that I loved about the movie that not a lot of people were talking about is when he was younger and he thought he was going crazy and he was having these visions of energy and things happening at the unseen scale of life, right? And most people don't know this, but like if I put my hands out like this, and if I was to create an imaginary box, okay, obviously in the imaginary box, there is air. In the air, there is what? Molecules and atoms. Now, in this box, if I could release the energy in these atoms, I could boil every ocean on the planet. So we think about there's space. Well, to the untrained eye or ear or brain, there's no thing here. But within this little space in my hands are making, there is all of the atomic energy, hydrogen energy that could boil every ocean. Like, think about what that means. And so I loved the movie because most people didn't know what he was seeing, and I would think didn't tie it together. So that was the beginning of his wisdom and genius to try and figure out. He was seeing things, his brain was seeing things that most people don't see or think about. No differently than Tesla, by the way. Tesla, said if you want to understand, energy, or if you want to understand the universe, you have to understand energy, vibration, and frequency. That's what he saw. That's how he came up with his inventions. He was able to tap into what was already here. And the visual I always like to give people is, imagine this. You and I hear at about 25,000 decibels per second, right? A dolphin hears at 80,000 decibels per second. There are some people that have 20/20 vision, but there's also other people that have 40/20 vision. There are some people that have this intuitive faculty of their mind that they can actually communicate, feel, see people that are deceased in this non-seeing or non-visual field. We don't see the light spectrum. We don't hear the auditory spectrum. We don't feel everything. We can't. So we're limited, but there are certain people that have a greater sense of smell. A dog smells at 100,000 times the level that we do.
Is that right? 100,000?
100,000 times, right? A bear can smell food 25 miles away. 25 miles away. Okay, so if you think about our senses of hear, seeing, smell, taste, touch, intuition, interoception, exteroception, these are all faculties. There is so much happening at the quantum level of our lives, but most of us are not paying attention to that because we can't hear it, see it, smell it, taste it, or touch it. But it doesn't mean it's not there. So, when we, you and I earlier talked about meditation. What does meditation allow you to do? Or mindfulness? Well, mindfulness is all about awareness, but meditation allows you to dive into, deeper layers, okay, of the frequencies that are already here. And a great visual that I like to use visuals and metaphors. We use telescopes, right? We use a telescope to look out into the cosmos, and then we even send them into the cosmos to look further out in the cosmos, hence James Webb, Hubble telescopes. But we also use microscopes to go deeper into, okay, the nature of atoms, electrons, protons, muons. So we use tools to look out. We use tools to look in because we don't have the capabilities, okay, with our limited senses, but we can create sense enhancing tools or use sense enhancing techniques to go deeper in or deeper out or further out, excuse me. So I'm fascinated with the scale of it all. And so you asked about Einstein. Yeah, for somebody who thought, using his imagination and enter deeper levels of, understanding the nature of reality or the fabric of reality. He was, one of my, go-to thinkers about stuff. But you'll also notice right behind me, I also have Frankenstein's monster.
I see that.
And that's to remind me that we have a tool of mass construction
And destruction.
and we have a tool of mass destruction. Why I can't, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I don't have this. Do you know where I was born? But this happened to me and that happened to me. What if you fail? What if you, that's that part of my brain. That's another part of my brain. I love them both and appreciate them both.
It's so good. And I was excited to ask you about Oppenheimer. I saw it too. Aside from the fact that it was a great movie and very well done, I didn't know that this was like the start of quantum physics and all the research. And silly me, I need to be better at my history. I didn't realize that was Einstein's error. For some reason, I thought he was around a lot earlier, a lot before that. But that was pretty cool. And also, just like you just said, like Oppenheimer could see so much further with his eyes closed than with his eyes open.
Yeah, Oppenheimer thought that Einstein was like old school.
Yeah.
Right? So, Einstein was trying to understand the laws of physics, right? But as we've gotten better at imagination, better tools to see, like the word atom, do you know what it means? Indivisible. The word atom means indivisible. It means you cannot divide the atom. That's what Einstein believed. Well, you had to create an atomic reaction, okay, to do what Oppenheimer did. Right? So Einstein was wrong. But in that era, that was the, that's what we believe, because we could just see, or mathematically calculate stuff. We have better math, faster math, more accurate math.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Your app, Innercise, I just got a whole behind the scenes demo before we hit record. The world is a better place for this thing existing. How long have you been working on this thing for, and what can people expect?
Sure. So before we get into how long, many years ago, I remember Jack LaLanne. He started, jumping jacks. There's a guy by the name of Jack LaLanne, and he taught the world back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, you should exercise. It'll make you healthier, stronger, better. And doctor says, no, don't exercise. You're going to die sooner. So there was this, crazy time in our lives where, exercise was thought to be something you shouldn't do. And I remember back in 1982, my first mentor had me like writing and reading affirmations, and then visualizing those affirmations and emotionalizing those affirmations. And I thought it was like crazy and stupid. And like I'd read these affirmations, like, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm now earning $10,000 a month. And there'll be a voice in my head that said, bullshit. No, you're not. And he said to me, don't worry, that will go away That's your old mind trying to hold you back, but you're planting new seeds in your mind with, let's say, affirmations. He said to me that the Dennis Waitley, who is now one of my dear friends, lives down the street, like a few minutes away from here, taught Neil Armstrong how to visualize. And he prepared Neil Armstrong to go to the moon, okay, and prepared, mentally rehearsed going into the rocket ship. Being, put under immense pressure, okay, on liftoff, training Neil's brain, okay, to stay calm, training Neil Armstrong's brain, okay, to know where every button was, in the capsule. And the Olympic athletes were innercising, in essence, because they were mastering self-talk. They were mastering emotional regulation. They were mastering focus. They were mastering attention. They were mastering discipline. They were mastering tenacity. They were mastering resolve. They were mastering their habits. And they use visualization to see themselves achieving all the things that they were pushing their bodies to achieve. And this is kind of like the beginning of, the personal development movement, when a lot of the biblical teachers were teaching, whatever the mind of man can believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. But that all stemmed from the Bible, right? And so I started to meditate, visualize, be mindful, affirm, use different mental techniques and emotional techniques just to get better, because I just want to do better in my own life. And I used to tell people, hey, here's how I write out my affirmations. Here's how they work. Here's this language pattern, that language pattern. Here's first person or second person. And everybody said, oh, that's great. And then if I'd meet them 30 days later or a month later or 2 months later, go, hey, how are you doing? They go, oh, great. Are you doing your visualizations and meditations and mental contrasting and cognitive priming? They go, oh, no, I don't have the time. It takes a long time. Well, holy mackerel. So I started to create, these programs that I could just give my family and friends many, many years ago. And then I started to teach my real estate agents. I built a real estate company, as you know, where I had 1,200 salespeople. And at our peak, we were selling $4.5 billion a year in real estate. And people asked, how did you do that? I said, well, I helped train my real estate agents' brains to have the self-image, the identity, the self-worth, the self-esteem, the beliefs, the habits to do what they knew they needed to do. And our income and our sales went through the roof. So you asked, how long have I been wanting to do this? It's been about 3 years since I said, I'm going to build, an Innercise app. Innercise, strengthen your core neuro muscles, right? Exercise, strengthen your biceps and triceps and all that stuff, cardiovascular system, but Innercise your self-image. Innercise your self-esteem, Innercise your self-worth, Innercise your beliefs. So we developed over the last year over 500 new Innercises to strengthen your identity, your self-worth, your self-image, your beliefs, to have more self-love, self-respect, your identity, to have superior leadership skills, sales skills, stronger habits. And I just went in and said, listen, what do people need to be healthier? Created Innercises for those. What do people need to build a business more successfully? Innercises for those. What do people need to have a great relationship with themselves and others? Built Innercise for those. What do people need, to advance their career? We built Innercises for those. And we just launched with 500 Innercises. Every Innercise cost me about $1,000 to create. Write them, edit them, record them, edit the recording, master it, load it. One Innercise that's about 20 minutes long cost $1,000 each to create. There's 500 of them in the app.
So far.
Pardon? Oh, and we're going to be adding more. And so we said, how do we reduce it? Like right now for my company, we help about, people that would get our coaching program, about 30,000 new clients a year. And I said, how can I help millions of people with some of the stuff that I'm helping everybody that's saying it's a game changer for them? So we launched the app. There's a 7-day free trial. and people can get it on, Innercise in the App Store right now. We only have it for iOS, for Apple, just because we wanted to test some stuff, and now we're building the Android version, and that should be ready in the next 60 or 90 days. But that's what we're doing, and I'm giving the nuclear, okay, the little hinge that swings the big door to the world as my legacy play, and then my goal is to have literally thousands and thousands of Innercises. For whether it's people that have addiction, or people that have been diagnosed with cancer, or somebody is going through a trauma or wants to overcome a trauma. We're systematically creating programs there's a killer sequence in there, for people who are under stress and anxiety and worry and fear, to help them, as I said, first manage their mindset and emotions, and then master their mindset and emotions.
What I think is so cool, besides the obvious, is I challenged you when you were showing me a little bit behind the scenes. I said, well, what about this topic? What about this topic? It literally has everything: entrepreneurs, sales, relationships, you name it. There's a tool to help you and to elevate you with it. And also, you were showing, man, I don't want to give too much away, but I encourage everybody to check out the app. It will better, I can guarantee. And I only say things that I'm very passionate about. This will immediately elevate your life, and it's John's voice on one of the things, and it was like you speaking at 2 different times to really enforce and get through to the subconscious, and I'd never seen that before. That's revolutionary.
Yeah, we have, as you know, in my company, my NeuroGym, we have over 100,000 people that over the last 8 years they have been retraining their brains, and we've got tens of thousands of success stories in every area of life. But for some people, they couldn't afford, our coaching programs. So I said, I want to bring something to the world that everybody can afford. And the app, I'll just tell people right now, the introductory offer right now is $79 a year for 500 Innercises. Plus, we're going to be adding more, or $9.99 a month. And we also have a lifetime offer right now at $199. But if you think of what is it worth to get your mindset and emotional control right? What is it worth to let go of limiting beliefs or habits? What is it worth to upgrade your self-image and self-worth and self-love? What is it worth, to develop your leadership skills as an entrepreneur, to develop your sales skills from the inside out? I mentioned this to you before. I said, we can buy knowledge, we can buy skill, but we can't buy the determination and the grit and resolve to succeed. But that happens from the inside out. So if you develop the identity of somebody who completes goals, and you let go of the part of you that starts but doesn't finish, you achieve more goals. If you let go of the subconscious pattern that thinks you're not good enough or worthy enough, or smart enough or deserving enough, you let that pattern go, and you create and reinforce a new pattern at the cellular level, your neural patterns, then you start to change from the inside out. And think of it this way: if there are empowering seeds, they germinate and grow. But if you have disempowering seeds and you keep reinforcing those, they grow. I remember Nito Cobain once said, he said, you remember the old adage, garbage in, garbage out? He says, that's not true. He said, garbage in, garbage rots. Right? So some of us, I had some garbage in my mind when I was a kid.
We all did.
Garbage from my dad's gambling days and alcohol days and beat your kid to a pulp days and limited skills and knowledge and terrible habits and terrible beliefs about the world. I got that. But then I had a mentor when I was 19 that says, well, that was his reality and he was just living out his reality. Let me show you a new reality. And then he got me into the world of using my brain to work for me instead of against me. And so I started to, in essence, Innercise 43 years ago. and I haven't stopped. So I want to give that gift to the world, so that people could have the inner game tools and resource they need. Because right now, especially with AI, all of the outer game of what you need to learn and know and do, we can come up with in less than 60 seconds using ChatGPT. I can have a plan for what I need to do today, tomorrow, this month, this week, or this week, this month, in a second. But knowing what to do doesn't mean you do it. It's the software, the internal, right, beliefs and habits, perspectives. It's the internal nucleus of the operating system that determines whether it's done or not. And I can tell you, in coaching a lot of people, I would start, like, I would share with people, here's what you need to do. Here's why you need to do it. Here's how to do it. Go and do it. They wouldn't do it. Like, why didn't you do it? And then I'd hear stories and reasons and excuses. I go, that's bullshit. Like, why are you selling yourself short? What do you mean you didn't have the time? I saw you watching your Netflix movie for 3 hours the other night, and I saw you wasting time on your mobile phone for an hour, swiping left or right. What do you mean you didn't have the time?
Right.
So part of the work that I like to do is focus on the cause versus the effect.
Yeah.
Right. So people focus on the effects they don't want, and they
The
don't
same-
realize.
yeah.
They don't realize they keep reactivating, okay, the part of their brain that caused the results they don't want. So they keep thinking in lack and limitation. They wonder why it keeps showing up. They keep thinking there's not enough, and they wonder why they keep showing up. They keep thinking about what they don't want or don't like, and they wonder what's happening. What's happening is you keep firing those same electrical circuits and neurons in your brain that release the same neurochemicals that drives the behavior. Right? It's like if you try to put, water and wax in your car, okay, you can get it to a liquid state, but the car ain't going anywhere. Right? So the key with Innercise is to get the neuromechanics working really, really, really well, so that this body of ours moves into the right actions.
Yeah, I love that. And also, I just want to say this for the audience out there, maybe there's some people that are a little bit older. This is very user-friendly. It's very, very simple to maneuver.
Yeah. Well, there's two things. Number one, it's very user-friendly, and I had to do it, so it was easy enough for me. But number two, everything that's in the Innercise app is based on the science of neuroplasticity. So we use the latest in neuropsychology, how the brain works and the mechanics of how the brain works. But something that some people know, some people don't know, is there's something called the neuroplasticity switch. Okay? And the neuroplasticity switch is basically this. Like, if I was to ask somebody, when you're born, any baby is born, are they born with any beliefs, any habits, any ideas of their self-worth? No.
Oh.
So from a neuromechanic perspective, like, what happens? Right? Well, mommy or daddy or caregiver, tickles you and googles you, right? And looks at you and smiles at you and goes, you're so sweet and you're so kind. And you develop this, idea that when they tickle you, you cringe a little bit and you laugh a little bit. And over time, you develop these patterns because the electrical activity is firing off in your brain. Neurons, brain cells, are creating the connections to the DSPs, the dendrite spiny protuberances, they're called, the little tentacles on the end, of the cells off the axiom. And you're creating these patterns, right? Patterns. Good kid, bad kid. Smells good, smells bad. Tastes good, tastes bad. It's too bright, it's too dark. Oh, that face and that name, wired. Right? Because we're born blind. We're not born seeing. We learn how to see because it's just electrical activity, right? Light waves coming into our brain, activating the electrical activity neurons, and we create these patterns. So the patterns, basically in the imprinting, modeling, and experiential years, are fast creation, because we're creating these neural highways. By the time we're 12 or 13, that switch goes off, And now we're in the reinforcement years. So now we reinforce, 90% of what we already have learned, what we believe from our parents, teachers, environment. And then there's about 10% room for adaptation. Well, once we get into our, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, those patterns are pretty like soft wired. People call it hardwired, but they're really soft wired. They're stronger, right? So the patterns are stronger. Now, why is that important? Well, if I have a belief pattern that I've had for many, many years about my identity, about what I deserve to earn, about what kind of relationship I have, what kind of job I have, what kind of career I have, what kind of business I have, in order to get to that next level or two or three of what our imagination wants us to achieve, we have to interrupt the existing pattern of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that keeps recreating those same results. Most people have no idea how to do this. And they don't know how to turn on the neuroplasticity switch to making the switch easier. So when they try to switch, they go on a diet and exercise to lose weight. They initially have motivation, the motive for action, because they can't get into their, into their pants, or their dress looks, awful or too tight, and they can't put on their bra, or the guy can't put on his jacket because he's gotten so big. And he says, I got to lose weight, diet and exercise. Well, your conscious mind will let you do that. You can override the system temporarily, but then as soon as you lose the weight, what do? Gain it all back.
And then some.
And then some. So they do that thinking that willpower and persistence is the tool to use, and it's not. I mean, you need to use it a little bit, but there's much easier, better ways, because now we can go deeper into the brain to understand the neuromechanics. So we've advanced so much in the last 20 years around the mechanics of what turned on in the brain, the default mode network, the salience network, the executive functioning network. Now, if we don't know that we have those networks, and we don't know that we have certain circuits that turn on or off that drives behavior, then we might be working hard, but we're not working efficiently. So Innercise really does what most people don't know how to do. A, activates the neuroplasticity switch. B, creates a perfect sequence of stimuli to light up the electrical activity in the brain and wire the right brain cells that over time become more dominant than the older ones. So this is what we call our refire to rewire our brain. And when you know how to do it, it's easy. When you don't know how to do it, you're ignorant. That would be like me saying to you, hey, I'm going to give you a G5 jet. Go anywhere you want in the world, Craig, but you're not getting any user's manual. You ain't going anywhere. You're going to have a G5. Everybody, come look at my G5. So I decided to create not only the user's manual for people, but actually the tool to help them. And fortunately, I've got, phenomenal success stories from people who are training their brains to be stronger.
Absolutely love this. This is so good. I encourage everybody to grab the app immediately and thank me later. And we'll put that all in the show notes. This is so powerful, so good, and everybody has it at the disposal of their phone. It's so important. I know we're getting ready to land the plane. Short answer. I know that's tough, but just real quickly, just a tangible nugget for everyone else, because I know this is relatable. What's a good way that somebody listening right now can change their relationship with money?
First, you have to understand, if we take the word money out for just a moment, my relationship with money, I didn't have one when I was born. Nobody had one when they were born, right? So based on my parents, teachers, television, school, what I took, what I didn't take, what I tried, what I didn't try, formulated these ideas around me and money, right? But let's go to a time when we didn't have money. Let's go back to a time when we, lived on the riverbank, okay, with our families and aunts and uncles and their kids, etc. And let's say the women went out to hunt and the men went to fish, and the kids went to get some berries, and some other kids went to get some seeds that they were, looking for in the forest, or wherever there were seeds. And everybody came back, and then everybody shared what they had. And then tribes, people got married, and then they set up another camp, next to us, another tribe, a few acres down the way. And that group really got good at fishing. And then another group got really good at hunting. Another good group really good at creating baskets out of grass so that you could put the berries in. And then we said, hey, what if I give you some of the fish that I caught for some of the berries that you got, and let's trade fish and berries with the person who had the baskets. So now we created this means of exchange, right? And then as the tribes started moving further away, and we started creating these small little towns, right? Then we realized somebody needs to help me with my toothache, and somebody needs to have the bar, and somebody needs to have the bread that they said. And so now we started to create these different things that we needed. Okay, the people just got really naturally good at these different things. And so now we can go and trade with each other. We create a barter system. But then we realized, hey, it took me 3 days to catch that deer. It took you 5 seconds to get that berry. So I need one whole bushel of berries for one piece of meat. Now we start to create this value system, right? So then we created a value system. Then we created some coins that represented. Then we created some bills. And when people started moving further away, the reason we created bills was because the coins got too heavy to carry. So if you understand the beginning of money, right? We used to trade seashells and chocolates and spices and all. We used to trade. But then this trade wasn't worth that trade because it was harder to get this versus that. So all I want to say is you change your relationship with money by understanding money is nothing more than a means of exchange. So here's the question. Am I worthy of having a lot of money? Of course you are. Now, if you want more of it, what are you bringing to the exchange? Like, what are you bringing to the exchange so that somebody just wants to give you a lot of their money that they work hard for?
Because as we were talking about earlier today, it's the money in return is an energetic exchange or a byproduct for the value you give.
That's right. Money is just a means of exchange. That's what we created for. So money, your relationship with money, and you have nothing to do with each other. Money is like a toothpick. Money is like a tire for your car. Money is like gas for your car. Money is like a piece of fruit. It's a thing, right? So the first thing you want to do is first you value yourself as the spectacular human being, part of the human species that you are. Let's separate that. And every human being, just so we're clear, their brain functionally works the same. They functionally shit the same way. They functionally pee the same way. They functionally fart the same way, and their heartbeat functionally works the same way. So you're no better than me. I'm no better than her. She's not better than him now. Do you have skills that might be better than mine?
Maybe.
Yep. Do I have skills that may be better than his or hers? Yeah. But what skills can I develop to get better at the things that I'm passionate about and love and can get better at? Now, listen, the marketplace determines how much money they will pay you for the exchange that you want. The marketplace pays you, but it's not even the marketplace. You pay you. Your boss doesn't pay you. You pay you based on the value you bring to his company or her company. And the more skill you have, the more value you have, the more you can command in the marketplace. So stop looking out there for your value. You bust your ass, read the reinvention formula, read the books, watch the videos, go to the coaching, upgrade your skills. Now listen, in the game of life, we have health and wealth, and relationship and career and business and fun and experience and spirituality and all that stuff. But there's also, if we were to say, aren't there levels of the game? And we can play any one of those games At the kindergarten level, I'm just going to F around. We're going to have fun. Let's play. High five. I love you. Kumbaya. Throw the ball. Catch the ball. We're going to have fun. We can go to maybe the grade school level. And now, it's like, how many goals can you score? Right? How fast can you solve that Rubik's Cube? Can you beat him? In chess. So now we get competitions to challenge ourselves to get better, right? Now we go to high school. Oh, a little bit more competition. Oh, now chess is harder than in grade school. Yeah, you learn some extra moves because there's millions of different permeations. Well, now, now I want to get better. I want to go to university to learn this, or I want to go into the world and I want to learn about becoming a diamond cutter or a chef, or a salesperson or whatever. Now I want to play a more sophisticated game or a more refined game. Now the skill matters, right? Oh, now I'm really skilled at writing. Well, do I want to write a book? Oh, now I'm moving into the pro level. Great. Now I'm in the pro level, right? Now I've got my work doing work and helping. Now I need to get good at marketing and selling my book. And right. So every game we're playing, there's kindergarten, grade school, high school, university, pro, and then in the pro, there's Hall of Fame. There's All-Star. Like there every
The Olympics.
The Olympics, right? So if you don't challenge yourself to get better at what you naturally love and like, great, then stop complaining, stop, using the inflammation disease of choice that I have. You have an inflamed, excusitis, gland. So it has nothing to do with the market. It has everything to do with you and your understanding of you, your understanding of how to get better, how to shatter your limitations, how to remove your obstacles so that you take the inherent genius and self, worth that you were born with and become the best version of you for you. F everybody else, for you. And you know what? I'm sorry to say this, but it does take effort. Sorry, it does take work.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, right? And if you want to sit on your Assaraf and just watch Netflix every night, do it. Just do it. It makes fucking achieving success easier for me because I have less people who are as serious as I am about creating a masterpiece with my life. Now, I want to help you, but I'm not doing your push-ups. Just won't work. But if you're prepared to do the push-ups, show up in the gym, or eat better, or upgrade your skill, learn how to overcome your fear of failure, fear of not being good enough or smart enough, learn how to get rid of your limiting beliefs and create empowering ones, give up on those shitty habits that are keeping you stuck and holding you hostage, and get freaking serious about what's already here that you don't even have to figure out. Right? It's all the how-to's already here. But if you don't get rid of why you're not, you'll forever keep reinforcing why you're not, because you're operating from a place of ignorance, not knowing, right? And it has nothing to do with your intelligence because you're a very smart human being. So I'm going to come back to this really is an inner game that we have to win.
And basically what I got from that is all the stuff that's holding us back is what we should get a divorce from, correct?
You got it.
You're welcome back on the show anytime. We're gonna do so much more together. I'm so pumped for you, for the world, really. And we'll put this in the show notes and everything, but what's the best way for everybody to get access to the app?
Just go to the App Store, download it. You can either choose, $9.99 a month or $79 for a year, which is our introductory offer right now, or $199 for a lifetime. And we're just going to keep adding and innovating. But you can also, when you go there, you can have a 7-day free trial. So try it, use the Innercises. And I'm inviting everybody to help me kickstart an Innercise revolution. That's really what I want to do. I have a vision to positively transform the lives of 100 million people through Innercise. So where we can help them shatter the limitations and eliminate the obstacles so they can achieve more of their dream life. That's really what I want for everybody.
Pretty straightforward, pretty simple.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, it does require effort.
Yeah, the nice thing about Innercise is all you need to do, click on the Innercise you want, put on your headphones, or you can actually even do it while you're doing other stuff and just listen to it and let me help you reprogram, rewire your subconscious mind.
Love it. Done. I don't know if I could love
Right.
you anymore. I highly encourage everybody to grab it immediately. Johnny, hang up for 1 second. I want you to know you the definition of being in alignment, unbelievable energy, and inner size. I can personally guarantee your best is yet to come. Keep on spreading your wings and leaving your mark on this world. So much love and respect for you. Thank you so much for stopping by and dropping these priceless, juicy, atomic nuggets today.
Thank you, my friend.
Love you.
Love you too, buddy. Appreciate you.
Great day today. And
Thank
thank
you
you
for
so much.
supporting me, and always a joy supporting you.
Yeah, and we'll get you in the community if you have time, and everyone will.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'll have Alex from my team coordinate with you, with your team
Great.
today.
Awesome. Appreciate
Have a
you.
good weekend.
Thanks for a meeting.
See
You
you.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.